I think when you have like complex, fascinating brains, they go off in all kinds of different directions.
So the good thing about the internet is that, and the bad thing is it's given us, so many more of us, the ability to be who we are and create and express, and in a way that it's almost like if I'm not doing it, I'm wasting my gift. I'm not sharing it with the world. 100 years ago, okay, so if Nietzsche wasn't Nietzsche, he would just be a madman. If Winston Churchill didn't have World War II, he would have just been a madman. Like, and I was just thinking, all these people in history who often were looked at as insane, if they had the ability to create, they wouldn't be that way, right? Like all these people who are under bridges right now doing drugs because they couldn't function in society the way other people function because they're very creative, and creative people don't function the same way other people function. They need to be creative. They need to, like,
Also, they die if they're not being creative. They wither on the vine.
we've opened up the doors to so many more people who could be creative and should be creative, and so their opinions are out there. So Jordan Peterson on Joe Rogan.
This is one of the dangers of being creative, right? Most creative ideas are wrong, and a good section of those wrong ones are fatal. But now and then you get one that's necessary.
And so in the world that we're living in now, where there's so much more creativity out there, which means there's so much more falsehood, because most things that are new and creative are just, they don't line up with reality. They don't work. They're not really true. And some of those things are actually fatal and dangerous. But what I love is, like, and then occasionally get one that's necessary. Like, what if Freud didn't write his books? Imagine if David HaMelech, what would the world be like if David HaMelech didn't write down his poetry? Just imagine the difference of the world, right? Like, can you imagine, like, how many people have been influenced and changed their lives, and how much poetry and theology and philosophy and writing and creativity was inspired by David HaMelech's words? Like, imagine if it wasn't written down. So for everybody else, you're like, yes, I have all these ideas, but I don't have a printing press. I don't have billions of dollars. I don't have any of these stuff. What could I do? Now, literally, I have a phone, and every moment that I'm not being creative and not sharing and not expressing, that's why to me, my hypothesis is that's why depression's up so much more, is because all of those people who are emotionally sensitive, like, the cognitive dissonance between what they could do and what they are doing is so much greater, because what they could do is so much more due to the tools that we have at our hand. And so you're now experiencing this gap between people who are willing and out and getting ready to create. They already have something in them that is the world kind of needs to hear, because they're afraid of how it's going to be received, or that they're unworthy. And just by knowing that you could be creating, it creates that cognitive dissonance and pushes it further. And now all of us that are creative and are good thinkers and are good artists and are good philosophers and have incredible perspectives on business, on life, on relationships, on God, on Torah, on all of that, to the degree of which I'm aware of my capabilities and I'm not actualizing them, I'm going to be depressed. And I'm going to turn to porn, I'm going to turn to drugs, I'm going to turn to anything. And so that's my hypothesis as to the hope of what's going to happen. It means we have to be more discriminatory, we have to be more argumentative, we have to be more critical, because there's going to be more nonsense out in the world. There's going to be more creative ideas out in the world. And like Jordan said, 99% of them are wrong, or not even valuable even. And then a slice of them are going to be dangerous. We need more than ever to hash bad ideas and good ideas out, because that's the only way they get figured out, is in the world of public opinion, right? Like, I put out a bad idea, and if I say it out loud, it's going to get criticized and fixed, or criticized and thrown out. Like, but if I keep it to myself, I'm going to live with that bad idea. So for me, I just have to share my ideas, because I know some of them are bad, but I don't know which ones are bad until I say them out loud, and I don't know which ones are false, and I don't know which ones are true, right? Like, until they're out loud. And as soon as we become scared of speaking our mind, then it's just going to exponentially snowball a world of bad ideas.